Allie. Join me as I show you a group project from us here at Potomac Beads. We're calling this the Prospect Necklace. That's where we're located here on Prospect Street. And this really was a group effort. It features the lovely here cathedral window pendant that was designed by our team member Faith. And it's really great when everybody gets involved. So Faith actually drew out the design. Nick, our graphic designer, went in and changed that into a digital file. Aaron went through and made that ready for the laser printer. Taylor put it in and got it started on the laser printer. Then you had everybody from Jody and Sarah bagging it up and making the kits, to then Anna creating with it, Jody creating with it, myself creating with it, and Kenzie having picked all the materials to put with the lovely pendant that was designed. And then we'll get ready to have it shipped out by Susie and our fulfillment team as well. So it really was a group effort for this prospect design. The goal of this video is to show you how you can create based on the same materials, but make a different looking design and a different looking necklace. Whether or not you're doing a single strand, attaching the pendant with a jump ring, or attaching it directly to the wire, you can learn something in this video about the design, the placement, and that group work coming together for really everybody to create their own masterpiece together with the same materials. So this video is really fun because this was really a collaborative effort. Each month in our kit subscription, we provide 3 kits along with instructions on how to complete the kits. But a lot of them are going to be bead weaving, and every once in a while we throw in wire working, or last month we did some micro macrame just to get everybody into a different craft, give them a little bit of challenge if they're seed beater or not seed beater. This month we decided to give the challenge of what can you create when given these beads, basically. And it's really to show how to do some basic beading and to give stringing supplies and crimp beads and clasps, which generally those in the kit don't get a ton of the stringing material, and I think it's great to have on hand. Also, often in the kits, you have extra beads and extra supplies, so this is great to have as well. So this month we gave out the string, that beading cable, and just to give you a little info on the beading cable, this is 7-strand beading cable and it's 16 feet. So you're not going to make a necklace that's 16 feet, so you're going to have extra that's there. In addition to that, kind of unpacking my supplies that I'll be doing, and then I have sitting here examples made by other coworkers here, is we have some pretty Athenacast spacers. I love these in the gold. We have some beautiful check glass kind of pinched rondelles, check ovals, some O beads in the pastel light sapphire, some gold seed beads, and we have some big ovals in the jet color going kind of with a fancy design, and then the jet rounds. These colors work really well together to kind of go into summer versus fall. And then the clasp enclosures in both silver and gold. So you can make it silver, you can make it gold, you can kind of pick which way you want the design to trend. We also have in this kit this beautiful laser cut design. This laser cut design was actually designed by Faith in Fulfillment. And Faith went in and designed this here. If you still have a little bit of those beads in there, you can kind of punch them out, that it has that opening look to it. And it has a paper coating on it. You're just going to remove the paper coating. So often when designing, I start out with that center piece and build my way back. And I think it's really, really interesting. And I actually have shown like what materials are still left and weren't used by certain people. So here in the design, the ovals, Jody in her design that works in our kitting department, Jody has a ton of the ovals left. When you look at Anna's supplies here, she has a collection of the black ovals because she didn't use as many of those. And then when you look at the set by Kenzie, she has more of the black ovals and she didn't use as many of the rondelles, so she kind of has them. Because you get 2 clasps in the kit, Anna went ahead and even made a bracelet since we have extra thread and supplies. Now, in Anna's bracelet, she did more of a block sectioning, which is really pretty, and an easy design that you can do is to create these blocks of units. So she has the little sections here that have individual colors and beads along with them. Then if you're designing and you have the pendant here in the middle, the pendant in the middle is going to obviously be the focus, and it's a black, almost smoky color to go along with the beads that are in here. The pendant again was designed by Faith, and then it was rendered by Nick, our graphic designer. It was put into our software by Aaron in our tech department, and then it got printed by Taylor and down on our laser printer. It was then bagged up by Jody and the group down in production. Kenzie picked out all the materials to design it. Anna made a sample. Jody made a sample. Kenzie made a sample. I'm going to make a sample and show you how to crimp as well and show you some of those design elements. But it's really nice to see the team coming together, and then Susie will ship them all out for you. So we have a small team here, and it's nice to see kind of everybody involved in this project, from going to getting the design of the pendant made, Kenzie picking the materials to match with the pendant. So when you're looking at this, there's a couple things that I want to point out. One, you're going to need a jump ring. If you don't have a jump ring to do the design, you can go ahead and you can use seed beads or even your macrame cord to make a little loop in it here. But it has that nice little section where a jump ring can be put right inside of that, and the jump ring is in your bag there. If you don't want to do a jump ring, you can actually loop the wire through. I'll show you how to do that so it becomes more of that pinched area. Here you can see that if you use black towards the base in Anna's design, that the focus really stays towards the center and brings you right down towards that pendant drop. In Jody's design, the opposite is true. She kept darker beads towards the top, which really brings your focus for the longer necklace down to that pendant and makes the pendant actually stand out more than when you have the same color and darker beads near it. So hers goes up to about 32 inches the whole way here and has that nice seed bead look in the center. Kenzie decided to keep hers that it is kind of spaced out evenly, the black or the darker side of the project along the necklace, so your eye is going to each individual part. Anna's is very much center focused, darker towards the middle, lighter towards the back. When you look at Jody's is very much a long necklace, where the center is a different color, but then leading up to it, it only gets darker around your face and where you're going to bring your eyes up to. And then Kenzie's design kind of follows the colors throughout and gives that nice blue and gold combo. Mine, I'm going to make just a tad bit differently to show you an alternative to the jump ring of how you can add the pendant on. And then I'll show you what I make and how I use the materials. So first things first, when you get a pendant design that is done on the laser printer, it often will have a protective coating on this. This is so when it's getting printed, it does not get burnt, and when it is in transit, it does not get scratched. My easiest solution here is to take a needle like this, pull it up, and then you can simply peel that coating off. You can also take a piece of painter's tape, lay it against it, and kind of pull, but I find that the needle method here that I just did is really simple to get that coating off. Now my design, I want to really focus on bringing in towards this pendant. Because I want to focus on bringing it in towards the pendant, I'm going to go with my beading wire here, and I'm going to take off. My necklace is going to be a little bit on the shorter side, shorter than the others. And again, I'll have extra beads and extra material. And I'm going to take a wire cutter and cut it to about 20 inches. The reason that I'm doing to 20 inches is because I only want it to be about 17-inch necklace. That gives me extra to go in and to crimp. I'm going to take my wire evenly through my pendant. It's a beautiful little, almost looks like a vintage church window. Faith did a great job on designing. And I'm taking my cord there, if you can see, and I'm going right down to the base, and I am pinching that. So that way my cord now comes out right from that pendant versus using the jump ring. So there's multiple ways that you can attach the pendant, jump ring, or even bringing it into the cord like that. From there, because the cords touch each other, I'm going to look through my supplies and decide what I want on each side. Now I am going to put some of the tiny gold beads on each side, but before that, I want to put a bigger bead to make this statement even more kind of grand. I want to bring my blue color into the design a little bit more. So I'm going to do my blues, and I'm also going to do my gold spacers, and then I'll go into my seed beads. So right away, I'm going to take both strands together. I'm going to drop on one of these gold Athenacast beads. If I wanted to, I could have done some seed beads along here. I'm going to use one of the blue O beads, great little spacers. You can use them in bead weaving, but you can also use them like this. Both strands then through one of the ovals, repeating on the opposite side, going in and doing the O bead, and then doing the Athenacast. So that went over every single, or both strands that are on there. That's going to be a little bit of a drop on my necklace design. From here now, going into that Y necklace, I'm going to pull them to the sides, use some seed beads, and I'll sporadically use the blue or the black beads in the design as my piece. I'm actually going to make my piece here with the smaller beads and use my secondary clasp for the bigger ovals to make my bracelet. So I've made my necklace and I'm going to show you kind of what I did to make mine a little bit different. And I've used most of my jet beads here, my oval beads, to make a bracelet. I want to show you how to do a flat crimp when it's a single strand because the necklace, little spoiler, I did a double strand. So for this, I'm grabbing my silver crimp bead out of my pack and along with one of my silver rings. I designed my bracelet, which is just one of the ovals here with a little seed bead in between each. I can wear it with anything. It's a gold seed bead, silver clasp, doesn't matter. I wear mixed metals a ton. So I'm going in here, putting on a jump ring after the crimp tube. I hold the crimp tube as much as I can because I've already done it on the first side, knowing that my pattern was just bead, bead, bead. And I'm going to take my needle, or I'm taking my wire, excuse me, back through the crimp tube. And if you can, back through the next bead that's in your design. It's going to pop out the other side there. I'm kind of pushing down. And if you want to grab your pliers, you can grab your chain nose, kind of pull that extra wire. I like to go in and kind of move my bracelet around, making sure it's not too stiff. If you have a clasp that is dominant to top or bottom, or a clasp that goes inside of one another, like a push clasp, you want to make sure they're facing the same direction, but obviously with this, it doesn't matter. I'm then going to go in and do what's called a flat crimp. I think it's the best hold. You really don't notice it that much, and a lot of people have trouble with crimping pliers and crimp beads and the exact size. This wire that we're using is a nylon-coated stainless steel. So when we crimp down on this crimp bead, it crimps onto that nylon coating. I'm going to go in here and simply flatten out that crimp tube just using a little bit of pressure. I go in from one side, go into the other side, crimp that down, grab your wire cutter. I push down on the beads with the wire cutter, and I pull up on the wire. What that does is allows the wire then to kind of spring back inside the bead and you don't see it at all. So this was my bracelet that I made with the kit. Again, the necklace design is, or the kit is designed that you make a necklace, but we have all these extra materials, so I made a bracelet too. So in the design, I ended up using a lot of my beads because I went above and beyond. So I did my bracelet, which is at about a 7 1/4. If you need another one, you have it there. And then my necklace design, I decided after making the necklace, which I really love the design here, that it would be great to, and you can see my messy mat here, it would be great to have an interior strand. I made the exterior strand here just as a pattern of my black beads mixed in with my blue beads here. And then I made another strand that is going to sit in the interior to be a second strand here. That's going to be shorter and have it be a layered necklace design using one of those ovals in the design itself. So that way you're going to have the longer and the shorter necklace. Now, if you want these as options and you didn't do the bracelet, you can certainly do them as two separate necklaces. You have enough in your bag to make two separate necklaces. But you can also make them combine into one crimp tube. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to show you. So I am going to take one side of my necklace here. And I am going to put one crimp tube over both wires, both the shorter strand and the longer strand. Bringing my camera in so you can see that a little bit more. I'm using my gold clasp for this. I'm going to put my lobster clasp going through both strands. Taking the wire back through the crimp tube then. I take this and I make sure to get rid of all the extra wires showing. Because while it doesn't really matter on the shorter strand, because I did it in the middle of the clasp here in the way I attach, I don't have the option to move the wire on the longer strand. And then just like the other one, going to grab one at a time, each strand here, pulling it down towards my base of beads. There I have a little bit of wire showing, which I do want, so it's not tight up on the clasp, and I'm going to do the same thing and flatten out my crimp tube. Thanks so much for joining me. It was really fun to get everybody involved in this month's kit subscription box. Remember, if you need any materials or need to get some stringing wire or cable or crimp beads or anything like that, go ahead and look below the video and we'll put links there to get back to the website that you can gather up all the materials and make one yourself. This can be made with a ton of different materials from the Potomac Picks collection. So that's a great place to start if you're looking for a design idea and some design elements. We also have a number of different laser cut forms that can be used at the bottom. As always, hit the little subscribe button if you have not yet, because you don't want to miss anything from us here and the team on Prospect Street at Potomac Beads. Thanks so much for watching and stay tuned for more inspirational designs.